That is
Wow.
still a great intro. Well, countdown to intro anyway.
It's very airy. It's very like spacey. It's very much it gets me prepared for everything we're going to talk about and all that Howard is doing to us. Is it possible that this week Howard's going to be doing a lot of this?
Well, we are. I mean, we're almost getting July, and you know what that usually means right around the corner in the next few weeks. That little showcase thing where he likes to say, "Hey, here's your next like 15 to 20 pre-orders. Enjoy." Over,
Well,
in like 1 or 2 weeks. So, uh,
yeah.
hope, hopefully, if you're considering pre-ordering anything, it might be if you can, maybe give it a week or two. You know, see what else might come at you.
Lane, are you saying it's going to be an explosion of action?
Well, you might be, as you like to say, spilling your coffee, except times five, like once every day or multiple times in the same day. That's usually what happens. And then your wallet is busy as it's curling in the corner in the fetal position because it knows what you're about to do to it with all those pre orders.
Well, I'm telling you right now. I will tell you though. Um, I've been spilling all my coffee, but I am a little disappointed.
Uh
I am a
oh.
little I am a little disappointed that instead of getting a Christian Bale Batman, that we got this instead. And as I try to put it up onto the screen, so you guys can see what the frick I'm actually looking at. Um,
I hope this isn't like
I'm
really
just
badly.
surprised. I really was thinking that we were gonna get a Christian Bale.
Oh, the
Uh,
Nightfall Batman.
yeah, Batman. But I'm actually pleasantly surprised about that, Lane, that we actually got this, because you do have to wonder: are we getting yet another Christian Bale Batman
They
very
call
soon?
him the Wizard.
Well, we do still have one coming. Remember, I mean, we just had, even though I know it's kind of the suit, but we had that, clear armory one from Dark Knight Rises, but we still have the 2.0, which is going to have another completely new designed, like updated Dark Knight Batman suit coming as part of that, 2.0 armory. So we do have one. Now, would you tell me, would it be shocking at some point we're going to get an Artisan Bale Batman? I would say that's like one of the top five most figures that we're going to get Artisan of at some point, because how many Bale Batmans have they done at this point? I mean, like 5 or 6 or something. So that they're totally going to do that. That is like, if you're asking for a character to sell that will sell and that you're guaranteed is going to sell out, our Bale Batman is definitely like one of the easiest ones to do.
Well, Lane, you're exactly right. I mean, we're going back to then, because we get how many Christian Bale Batmans. It's happening now. How many Iron Mans? What's happening then is happening now. They do call you the Wizard. I mean, there's not a chance they're not going to capitalize on one of their most. Christian Bale Batman is like almost second to Iron Man, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. It happens then,
Darth
is happening
Vader,
now.
he's on the same
Lord,
level.
now Vader. You're
Yeah.
right, because gosh, didn't we talked about that for a while, Lane? We talked about that for a while. That
Boba
when
Fett.
were they going to start doing it with Vader? And they are.
Yeah. How many have we had in, like, say, if you had to say, let's say, like beginning of last year and a half, how many Vaders have we had come out? 3 or 4, including that, that weird Crayola Vader.
The weird Crayola Vader.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I'm not that Vader actually is not actually very bad looking, like actually in person. It's a very, now, is it the one I would tell you if you're going to go buy your first Vader? No, that would be like, if you really liked it, like he's your favorite, one of your favorite characters, and you own a couple other ones, he's a nice kind of support background one to own, but he's still almost $300. So,
Well, listen, Lane, I'm gonna put you on the spot because I already know what your answer would be, and what most people's answer would be. Is there any chance in the world, any chance, that we can get a Vader, at all, a Vader with a Grogu?
no.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I just had to play that one, you
Oh,
know.
well, would you probably? Oh, my camera just went really bad here. Would you probably agree that that scene with Vader is probably still one of the top 5 scenes in the entire original trilogy of Vader? Is when he decides to show Admiral Mahdi being not very nice to him is a very bad idea.
Well, it always makes me feel like if I'm in a business suit, or I'm at a wedding or a funeral and I got like that tie on, every time I see that scene, it reminds me of how much I hate my neck being so freaking caught up with his stupid proper clothes.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I mean, I'd rather just go to a wedding in this T-shirt, baby, and this Hilton head hat.
Poor Colonel Yularen, they're kind of going like, "Eee."
Hey, listen, we got to pick up the intensity here, Lane, because I feel like we're going to get another, not a Tales from the Crypt, but we're going to get another figure from the crypt. And which one do you think it is?
Well,
it's just like Hot Toys to throw something out of left field, like
especially
that Galen Urso.
Yeah, or Kit Fisto last year when he
or Kit Fisto. Well, now we're getting Sace Tin. We got freaking Plo Koon. We're gonna get them all. But Baze Malbus, I mean, that could come out of left field.
Could you imagine though? I know people want Baze, but what if they did like for showcase, like the next Artisan was Artisan Baze Malbus, and I know some people go, "That's great, we're getting Baze," but if we're gonna get an Artisan figure, like people would probably get mad. It's like, why isn't it? As we're talking about tonight, maybe a little bit Han Solo, or at this point, I think even more than him, because we at least have a Han Solo that's been released here recently, like super recently.
I can't wait to talk about that. It is hot.
Do you think probably at least for Star Wars collectors? I'm not going to say for Marvel or DC necessarily, but for Star Wars collectors, if there's the quote next Artisan figure, do you think probably some form of Princess Leia would probably be the most desired?
Oh my god! I think people are chomping at the bit for a Princess Leia, and especially one with rolling eyes function now that can go with this.
A really bad feeling about this.
And
I want the one with the longer hair. When she's in. I think it's actually right before.
A really bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's right after. I have to watch Return of the Jedi. You know what her and Han are having?
It's the same time when they're getting ready to look like they're about to become bear food.
Yeah, but she has like the long.
Yeah, the Ewok like village outfit.
So, do you think they're going to do that one, Lane?
Well, I mean, if they're doing something new, I would figure that would be one. I mean, they don't have a whole lot of different ones they haven't already done at this point of well-known outfits. I mean, Master Imway's pointing out Slave Artisan Leia. It's that Boosh Leia. I know there was like Sideshow did one of her like that, but an actual Hot Toys one. And are there any? Who am I forgetting? Any?
Well, let me pull up 6-scale Cantina. Look, we're going to talk about this Nightfall Batman, and we're going to get to all of your questions in the chat. I'm going to go say hi to all of you. It is the Dark Jedi, along with my compadre here, Lane Kramer. We are going to have some guests coming into the house. Is it possible we're going to get MRC Collection Ventures in here to talk about the Han that just came out? I know you all watched this video, or if you haven't, you should have. And also talk about the Luke, because we have a little bit of controversy there, a little bit of differentials. So we'll be having him jump on. We may be having brother cousins jump on. With this whole reboot of the Dark Jedi coming back and kind of rebooting here with all the health, I am doing better, and I'm doing better this week than I did last week. We're going to have all kinds of great guests coming on. We got Victoria's Cantina going to be coming on next week, and we'll be getting a whole bunch. So you definitely want to stay tuned to that. But before we go into this Nightfall, I am going to go to sixscalecantina.com, and I purposely did not update, Lane, this front page. And the reason being is because if you go to sixscalecantina.com right now, you can click on last week's Return of the Dark Jedi, the season premiere of episode 1 of season 2 of Ancient Action Figures. And if you want a chance to win the giveaway tonight, we are giving away a figure, courtesy to Lane. He'll talk more about it. You have to comment on this video, not the video right here, although feel free to. So there's a couple of ways that you could get to the link. Number one, you could go right into the description of this show you're watching right now, and there's a link there. Or go to sixscalecantina.com, click right on last week's banner. It'll take you to it, and you better comment, because in about 2 hours or a little bit less than that, we're going to go ahead and put in, we're going to run the raffle, and that's going to be your chance. So while you're watching this and you're smashing the like button, go right to that link. Lane, do you want to say anything about that giveaway?
Yep. Well, as I was just showing here real quickly, Catwoman is packed up and most assuredly ready to go. So she is ready to get shipped out to one of our lucky.
Let me blow you up. Let me blow you up on the screen and give a solo layout. Go ahead, Lane.
So here is Dark Knight Catwoman. She is all packed up and ready to rock and roll out to one of our wonderful subscribers. I am very excited for you guys. This is to celebrate. We had mentioned this, I think, back in March originally, to give away in April or May, but obviously health issues and stuff popped up. This is now to celebrate. I guess you can kind of consider it for 4th of July giveaway, and also to celebrate the return of one of the best YouTube 1/6 scale creators that there is. So let's all in chat give a big first, hit that subscribe if you're not here and you have not been tonight. It would be very much appreciated. Hit the like button. Make sure you do that, hopefully before at least the end of this. And as Mr. Aries already spoke and mentioned, click on the link that's in below so you can comment on the video from last week. And I'm just really looking forward to seeing someone win this figure. Let me ask you, Aries, though. So we do have this one. Do you think at some point, because obviously both versions of this character have already had some kind of rooted hair before, but do you think we could eventually see, especially InArt is supposed to be working on one right now, we will see like I don't like using the term 3.0, but we could see, an artisan with like higher end rooted hair and maybe like modern material, nylon suit or leather suit or whatever. We could see another one of her maybe down the road as part of that, especially if they end up doing like a Bale Batman at some point with rooted hair to go. I
think for sure. Before I answer that question, Mr. Kramer, just a shout out to Mary Sullivan. I appreciate it. It's great to see you as well, Mary. Thank you for coming in here. And again, everybody, Lane and I will be talking about this during the show, and I'll get to all of you in here and I'll put the comments up. But again, go to sixscalecantina.com. I got last week's banner up. Why? So that you could click on it and enter your comments right now. So that at the end of the show, you can be eligible for a raffle. I'm just going to put it in one of those automatic raffles. It's going to sort out the comments. Don't have to comment more than once, just once, because I'm going to have it set to where, it doesn't comment more than once. And then it'll run the raffle. Go there and like that video. Put in your comment right now, and it should be ready in a couple of hours. Now, Mr. Kramer, I'm going to answer that question because I'm going to continue to sixscalecantina.com. Go to the Crystal Ball Power Rankings because people were asking about or a couple were asking about
I
the
still
prisoner
think we
Leia.
need a new number
But-
one, though.
Yeah, I didn't update this since April because of the health stuff, but I still got a lot up here, so we'll get into that. But to answer your question, and before we get to that, and I'll shift the screen here, as we talk about Selena Kyle, I say yes. They didn't give us rooted hair implantation technology with that release. It was one that was up by pre-order. It seemed like for a couple of years, Lane.
I think 3 years it took to come out.
So I think you're going to get the whole kip and caboodle. You're going to get her again, and you're going to get a Christian Bale Batman. Even if the Christian Bale, there's too many ways with that trilogy where they could give you kind of like the Tom Holland Spider-Man, which I can't wait to get my hands on. And I get a funny feeling that one's coming quick. I think we're going to get a Christian Bale Batman. And without a doubt, if they do that, Lane, they're going to 1,000% give you a Catwoman from the Nolan
so
trilogy.
That way you can have kind of 3 of the main ones. You'll be able to have the Artisan Batman, Artisan Joker, and Artisan Catwoman all together at some point down the road. I still can't believe, and we're going to be talking about it tonight, if you had told me that within the first, are we now at 5 Artisan releases that have actually come out? Because we had Anakin
for this year.
Well, no, in total, we've had Anakin, we've had the Joker, we've had Scarlet Witch, Jack Sparrow, and then Dark Empire Luke. Right? Am I forgetting one?
Yes, because you got to count 2 Jokers. Because we had the Batman imposter, so technically there's 2 Jokers.
Yeah, but that's the same character. I don't count that as that. It is the same character.
So you're talking about character-wise. You got a Heath Ledger Joker,
and
you got an Anakin, Dark Side, and regular.
Yeah.
So you got 4, but you're saying just you got 2. That's been released. The Dark Empire Luke, which we're going to get into here with this show. And again, we're going to have MRC Collection Ventures probably jump in here in a little bit. We're going to talk about that Artisan Luke. We're going to talk about the new Han. What else did we get, Lane? I got the Jack Sparrow.
I think that's it. So he's 6 or 7 if you count then the short.
I got the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Oh, so but you got to count the Wonder Woman because that technically is the first Artisan.
It's not part of the Artisan line, though.
I
know. No. It's not. It does not say Artisan on the box. I get what you mean, where it was kind of the prototype for what they were going to do with it. But if I told to you 2 years, like say 2023, we were sitting here speculating this time that within the first handful of like rooted hair figures that Hot Toys would put out would be a Dark Empire from the 90s comic Luke Skywalker. Like I had told you seriously that. Honestly, Aries, I know you like to say you like to use a crystal ball and be a little optimistic, but you would have probably told me. You might have said, okay, I can see Luke Skywalker, but specifically Dark Empire from 90s Dark Horse comic, Luke Skywalker being within the first like handful of like highest end figures to come out. You would have told me I'm a little crazy, or you might have said, well, no, we would get like Farm Boy Luke.
I wouldn't have. I absolutely would not have. I would have
Jedi Luke.
No, I would have said this.
They call him the Wizard.
I think we just need to take in the ambiance, the fact that this is such that they have where they're relatively new with this highest end figure that they're trying to do.
Dude, the game has changed. Yeah. The game has changed because look at all this, and I do got to update this, but look at these check marks. Dark Side, Anakin, a.k.a. they're calling him Darth Vader. Darth Nihilus? Are you kidding me? If you would have told me that, I would have told you you're smoking crack. Darth Revenue's already off here. Poe Dameron, you talk about the crypt.
Or Artisan.
Didn't Howard say he would never do? I kept hearing this from so many comments. Howard said he would never do a sequel figure. Well, times change. And again, this is what Howard's...
And I mean, we're getting 2 Oscar Isaac figures within, that
Moon Knight.
that will probably come out within a year. When they actually release, will come out within a year of each other. He's doing a second Moon Knight for what was a miniseries that's not supposed to be part of like the main MCU, and he redid it, not just that character, but a more expensive version with a full sculpted first Oscar Isaac's head sculpt. So I mean, this is probably the Leia that I would like us to get most, a New Hope Leia. I'm not sure. I would have some worries about the buns, being able to get the hair up, like without getting messed
They would
up
have to
or
make sure it
something.
doesn't come loose, baby. Because Lane, I could almost imagine. I'd love to watch you do an unboxing and her bun came loose, and then you
Oh,
would
God,
be
that
like,
would
"How
be
do I get it
hilarious.
back?"
Yeah, that would be the. So this may not be the easiest for that. Like, I mean, honestly, if they did a sculpted like 2.0 of her, having modern with the technology, like we'll talk about probably looking at a New Hope Han versus Return Han, like it's a big jump from what we've seen in 10 years. But I would really like to see them do this version, but I just think we need a Leia. We really do, and I would really like to see her be the next artisan, which would
Dude,
be
they're
whatever
making
version.
you wait in
Oh yeah,
anticipation, Lane.
for maybe
They're
50th
making you
anniversary.
wait. They know you want the Leia. They're making you wait, Lane, for the thing that you want most. Just like after The Force Awakens, you were waiting in great anticipation for this.
Fulfill your destiny.
You just got to show me my least favorite Star Wars movie of all time, don't you?
Oh, and they brighten the mood up. I'll play this for you. I'm sure you're.
You're delicious. Ciao, boys.
Well, I mean, we are officially now getting the sequel now, so hopefully Pizza the Hut will return. Well, no, I know the son of Pizza, whatever that would be, like Bagel the Hut.
Oh, I like that Bagel the Hut. Let's go.
Yeah, that will be in the sequel. The son of
and I'm gonna keep commenting in the chats. In the chat, I'm gonna get to you. This is the premiere of episode 2 of the new season of Ancient Action Figures. If you missed the premiere, episode 1 of season 2, you get to go back to last week's episode. Remember, I told you I got the link within the description here of this video. You could comment on it if you want to be eligible for the raffle for the free Catwoman later in the episode towards the end. So go ahead and do that now, and then you could watch episode 1 later. But you do have to wonder, do I have episode 2 queued up with, for the intro for this? And I say yes, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. We're going to be talking a lot about the new Han Solo Endor release. What do we think about it? We're going to look at the blogger photos, and we're going to take a look at some of the video footage. And then we're going to get MRC that's going to jump in here in a little bit. Looking forward to having Reagan in here. We're going to talk about the Luke. And that Luke release, that's like one of the best head sculpts I've seen. But we're going to talk a little bit about the hair differentials with some of the reviews that are out there. Is there a QC issue? We'll get into that. I want this Leia too. Real quick, Lane, before I get to say hi to some people here and go woo with the big dog pound. But I think people really want, when you're talking about the Leia, they want the prisoner Leia, Lane. They want this one. And the question always lies, would they ever do it? And I have done video after video and given data after data on this. And Lego already has licensed product of Prisoner Leia with the whole Jabba sail barge. There's stand-ups that they sell that are officially licensed from Star Wars. It's all over StarWars.com, which is owned by Disney. And honestly, I think if Hot Toys are ever going to release this, it makes sense as an artisan and as an exclusive. You get it out there, and then you're being done with it. But, this is one that a lot of people would like. Whether it comes or not, it remains to be seen. But a lot of people would love this. And I don't know, Wayne. Would you love it, though? If Hot Toys put this out, would you buy this version?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So this
Now,
would be one for you.
but I think it would need to be like a silicone body or something like that. We can't go back to like Harley Quinn Suicide Squad with the knees, joints at the knees or anything like that. I don't think we can. Or I mean, they've got they just put out also Hana Studios just put out that Iron Man, that classic Iron Man, where it is fully silicone body, like suit style thing. That's what she would have to be. Now that might make her a lot more expensive, and obviously if you're trying to lay her out, like if you got Jabba the Hutt 6 scale figure or something, or you're thinking about picking up that Sideshow re-release again, that could make things a little bit tricky. But I think that
Lane, you still
this
there?
version,
Oh, you almost broke up there for a minute, buddy.
this version of her would be definitely sought after.
Oh, for sure. Lane, what do you say we say hi to some of the people that are in the chat?
I think that would be a good idea. They've been patient.
All right, Clone Trooper. While we leave that wonderful picture of Carrie Fisher up, something we certainly desire. Howard, we desire this. Howard, we know you want to be able to rake it in. Howard, give us this.
Yep.
Clone Trooper, good to have you in the house. Great to have you in here. We also got Ricardo in here. What is going on? Let me know what table you're at, Ricardo. And Clone Trooper. The big dog pound is in the house. On the count of 3, Lane, we'll do it together if you'd like. 1, 2. Woo! Always good to have the big dog pound in the cantina. Sean Beam is in here. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah.
Better be seamless. Oh, I agree. I 100%
For the price point
agree.
now that a lot of figures are, I don't think there's any reason why it shouldn't be.
Blue Tattoo. Oh, I agree. Blue Tattoo. Yes. Baseballs. All the toys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. It's going to happen, baby. It happened already before in ancient times with some ancient.
Everything that happens now is happening now.
What happened to then?
We passed then.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
Well, listen, the way some of these queue systems go, you do miss it just now with some of that, except for that last Wolverine Lane. Other than that, but it still went in 12 hours, continuing to go on over here. Larry Walker, L. Walker's in here. I really want an Artisan Leia. Knowing Hot Toys, it could drop tonight or next year. You never know with Hot Toys. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Punisher, what is going on? Yeah, I want the Bounty Hunter Leia disguise as well. Lane, I would buy that too. There really wouldn't be a Leia Lane for me that I wouldn't buy, especially with the original trilogy. I'm trying to think if there's a Luke, a Leia, or Han I wouldn't buy. I probably, even the Luke Trooper, I would buy it at this point. What about you? Or would you be one and done? If you had like one Luke, like if you got Farm Boy Luke, are you a guy that doesn't need a Hoth Luke or Return of the Jedi, or do you need multiples?
I try and, just because of spacing concerns, like Dark Empire Luke, because I'm getting the Artisan one. I've had the Artisan one paid off actually for a couple months now. That is probably the only Luke I am going to get, because that is my favorite look to Luke, was Dark. Now, as someone told me, as I called it once, you mean the one you called Space Dracula Luke Skywalker? I was like, well, yeah, he does kind of make me think of Space Dracula with that, cloak he's wearing and stuff, which unfortunately is attached to the figure too, so you can't actually remove it. That's maybe my only kind of thing, as we'll kind of talk about, my only kind of gripe with the figure. But Leia, it depends. It really depends on the figure or what's coming out around it. If they announce a bunch of like Star Wars figures, I'm kind of like, because I've, like myself right now, I've kind of pulled back from maybe clones or stuff, because I've already owned a bunch of different clones over time. So if, it's a lot of those kind of announcements around something, and I already have a Leia in they put this one out, I got it, and then they announced like a 2.0, a New Hope Leia, there's probably a good chance I would get it. If there's not a whole lot of other stuff that I really care about.
I really think that a New Hope Leia, I think all the Leias that they put out have been fantastically well. They've done a good job capturing Carrie Fisher's likeness, but we're just talking about the way they're capturing likeness today, and with PERS systems and everything else. Ever since they've started competing, Inart came in to compete with Hot Toys, and there's been this battle. I hope that they stay in the 15th round or in the 5th round if you're in the MMA, and they keep trying to knock each other out, because what's happening is they're knocking these figures out of the park for us.
And whatever, and it doesn't matter really what like license or your primary things you like to collect, between the both of them. Now, admittedly, they're expensive, but that also means maybe that in some ways it helps you focus a little bit on like, I maybe can only get this line or this line. I need to focus on this license kind of deal. But they're giving a lot of people more choice kind of for what license you really love, or, being able to get some very nice high-end collectibles, but not like, trying to buy a $1,500 statue or $2,000 statue where you can't do that or don't have space for that. But you can get a very nice high-end collectible that has some size and stature to it, but is not super ridiculously big. That's what's great about 6-scale figures. They're big. Well, okay, excluding like Venom that I own that's like 2 feet tall, but most figure,
wait till you get Grievous.
Oh boy, I got him coming.
But notice I just changed the background too.
Yeah.
We had Prisoner Leia up for a while. I'm putting up this Obi-Wan, and I'm just going to say, Yomo, welcome back, Aries. He says, Yomo, good. We're going to get to everybody else in the chat here. Brandon Altman says, cheers to the Wizard on a strong recovery. We're getting better every week, second week in a row, for sure. Eric's in the house. We'll pause that there. Continue, Lane. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, but I think that, the 6-scale right now, I think it's kind of come into, at least, I'm not going to say maybe financially, because they may not be selling because of, since COVID in 2020, the last half decade, selling as much as they used to. But I think creatively now, and maybe it's also because, like you talked about, they're having to do smaller batches because they can't make 10,000 Mandos.
Well, the economy is, exactly. Yeah. I mean, COVID kind of switched everything, and a lot of people were stuck indoors, and they were looking for things to do. And collecting is a wonderful pastime. It's something that makes people smile. Certainly, we all needed something to smile about during the pandemic, Lane. But then again, when we were able to use that expendable income for extracurricular activities that are outside, they weren't buying it. People weren't stuck inside as much, and some people fell out of the hobby. Furthermore, the economy is there's the inflation so high. I've talked about this, but people are trying to buy lettuce, Lane, and try to buy a can of beans. Forget about trying to get these figures.
Yeah, and I mean, the economy's gone up and down like waves, where you're going up and it looks okay, and then you're going down and it's not looking so great for a bit. But I think that creatively now, like you said, with Inart coming in, Hot Toys has had to be a little bit more inventive and being willing to, take some chances on characters they may not have normally done before, like Dark Nihilist, putting him up. Last year, giving us Lord Starkiller, like what? But they're also, it's causing them maybe to also shed their bets where we're getting a couple different Palpatines, from like the prequel.
Oh, we're getting everything.
Yeah.
Let me continue to Lane say hi to some. OG fan is in the house saying Ewok Celebration Leia with the long hair and braids. Yeah, we're talking about that late and I.
Mm-hmm.
Would be Wizard. The Wizard. OG fan, so good to have you in here, for sure. As we continue to keep putting in the chat, I'll try to get to say hi to all of you as I'm back on my comeback tour. And, for you, OG fan and Lane, let's play your favorite TV show clip of all time, baby.
I'm Boba Fett. I'm here to see the mayor.
Boba Fett. Do you have an appointment?
Lane, there's no appointment necessary for Master Imwe. So we appreciate Master Imwe being in the house, and then more OG fan saying like, share, subscribe to the 6th
Absolutely.
scale.
Absolutely.
Yes, for sure. And look, Jagron is in here. Hey there, Mr. Mike. Well, hey there to you. Larry Walker's in the house. Mike Latoris is in here. And you have to wonder, is it possible that maybe the Dark Jedi, along Lane with some ancient action figure theorists, might find a way to get Mike Latoris, inside as a panel member, for one of these shows? And I say, you're going to have to stay tuned. You're going to have to stay tuned.
I like Mike is taking pictures and showing off how his calves and everything are looking these days there in his little.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Christian Bale with the freaking.
Yeah, I know. He's looking just as
yeah.
Looks like he's got a knee brace of doom as well there.
Hello there, back at you, Valiant Mick Archer. So good to have you in here for sure. And no, that's good. If I'm missing you in here, keep putting it into the chat. This is your opportunity to woo, says Mike Latoris. You can ask Lane anything you'd like. You could ask me, Aries, anything that you want. You are watching the premiere of episode 2 of the new season of Ancient Action Figures. We're going to whoop it on you here in just a minute or so. We're going to have some special guests coming in. Hopefully, Brother Cousins in a little bit. Reagan from MRC Collection Ventures. So as I'm coming on my comeback tour, we're going to have some different panels, Lane and I, every week. Next week, we have Victoria from Victoria's Cantina. Maybe we'll have Mike Latoris. I want to keep a surprise in there. Who knows who we're going to get? We may even get Howard Chan. Wouldn't that be great, Lane? Would you be like, how stoked would you be if Howard Chan came on here, Lane?
I hope he.
But Lane, what would you ask him if Howard Chan was on 6 Scale Cantina and he was here and you could only ask him one question, kind of like with a genie, you only get 3 wishes, but I'm not going to give you 3 questions. If you only got one question, Mr. Lane Kramer, what would it be? What would you ask? What would you pull out of your back pocket for Mr. Howard Chan?
I'd ask him, are we ever going to get a Slay Princess Leia, aka Hutt Slayer Leia figure? And if not, does Disney actually allow you as a licensee, allow you to actually, would you be allowed to make a figure of that? Now, we wouldn't actually get an honest answer to that question because they're not going to say, Disney doesn't allow us to do this or something out loud. But
Lane, I say he's probably going to respond because I know Howard watches this. I think he would respond like this to you.
They call him the Wizard.
Yeah, and he would probably also be looking dodgy a little bit too.
All right, we're going to get to the intro of the. You're going to get on in here. I'm going to play it in a little bit. We're going to dive into this Han Solo. We're going to dive into this Luke Endor. We got a lot to dive into. Lane, before we do, and remember, I'm giving away, courtesy of Lane, we're giving away a Selena Kyle Catwoman. Lane, can you pull it up again? Do you still have it by you? Okay, so we're giving this away, but you're going to have to comment on last week's live show. You're going to have to comment on last week's live show in order to be able to be eligible at the end of this show to win it, because I'm going to raffle it off. Okay, so you could get the link at 6scalecantina.com. It's right on the front page, or you could go right in this video right now. And I got the link right in there for you. Comment on it. You have to be subscribed. So if it's the first time you're watching, subscribe, baby. And while you're at it, hit the like button on both videos. And now we're going to get to the intro in just a little bit. But before we do, Lane, I want to get to this before we go to the intro, because I know we got a lot that we want to talk about. But this Nightfall Batman, and we can go back to the Crystal Ball.
A little bit later.
Yeah, a little bit later. What do you think about this Nightfall Batman, Lane?
I think it's funny they're going back to a game a Batman game. This is the first time they're actually doing a figure of it, with being it's from Arkham Origins. But I think this shows kind of what we've talked about a little bit, with Hot Toys kind of filling in, doing some very different things, like like Dark Empire Luke last year, being an example too, where they're kind of maybe being, because they have to also, their schedule, they have to put out a lot of figures each year. So they're being forced to kind of go into some more obscure or different figures than, 6-7 years ago, they probably wouldn't have tried to do necessarily. I think it looks cool. This is now I played all the Arkham games except for Arkham Origins. So this is a variant costume that you can unlock and use.
It's wicked looking.
Yeah, no, this is actually Azrael, John Paul Valley, when he was Batman. But it's a really cool figure. It definitely has that 90s feel, like to the suit and stuff like that. I feel the 90s is just smacking you over the head with this one. I do think, like I had said one comment, this one kind of feels like it might have worked better as a exclusive limited one, like maybe 1,500, 2,000, rather than a general pre-order. But you know what? I'm going to give Hot Toys credit, is that this one I'm not going to say gamble per se, but I think I'm glad to see that I'm going to give them props for, they're putting out some different. This is like, early this year they put out that Agent Venom, the Flash Thompson Venom figure, the comic one. They're trying to go into some of the license that they own and try and pull out and do some different things. They do put out a lot of Iron Mans. They do put out, lots of Bale Batmans and Darth Vader. So I'm not going to say they don't go to a similar well multiple times. But there also are sticking out stuff that, Aries, would you have ever thought, well, Nightfall Batman, from probably the least received of the Batman Arkham games, would be a perfect figure that I think, which it's also a much more obscure suit than maybe some of the other ones. Like, that feels like the perfect thing we should make a $280 figure of.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. It's $280. And when you sort everything out best-selling wise, we'll get into that in a little bit on Sideshow. This is right there, going up high, right behind the Artisan Wolverine. It kind of shows you. It's like, well, wait a minute. That Artisan Wolverine sold whatever it was, 2,000 copies. So when you're talking about how you could put breadcrumbs together or follow the breadcrumbs to what's going on with Sideshow and Hot Toys, these figures that go up, and some of them that don't even get close to there, it's like, are they even going to sell 2,000 of these? Are they even whatchamacallit? Are they even getting close to some of these 4,000 release figures? Are they even with any of them anywhere near 10,000 figures or 15,000 figures? And I say no. I don't think that they are. Lane, we lost your image, your video.
No, my camera flopped off for a second. I'm fine with that. My internet's not being very good today, but I have new equipment that this week I have to replace it. So I've been getting less than half for about a year and a half now. I've been getting less than half of the speed I should be getting for my internet. So I've been paying a lot of money for nothing.
Well, absolutely. But real quick here with this, this is all about more and more announcements.
Yep, exactly.
But less production of those announcements, with more 2.0s and more variations and more obscure figures. Like, you talk about this, okay? But we're also getting some figures like with Star Wars that people were saying The Wizard's crazy. The Wizard's smoking too much. The Wizard's having too much, is drunk on wizard juice. You're never going to see Darth Nihilus. You're not going to get
Well,
Darth
boss,
Revan. You're not getting a
we're-
battle damage Vader. You're not getting, we're getting all this weird stuff, Lane.
yeah,
We're getting a Jalen Urso.
yeah, we had Galen come out. We had
Galen,
we're-
excuse
it
me,
look-
whatever.
Yeah, but we're also it looks like at some point we're going to get all four. We're going to have available to us all four members of Delta Squad from Republic Commando, which is a single video game that came out like 20 years ago now or so, same time as Revenge of the Sith, and and even that. Also, we had that 212th Airborne Trooper finally come out, who is like a blink and you miss him in the movie, which obviously we saw a prototype from like years and years ago. But at that point, that always, that was when they showed a basic trooper that's in the graveyard and we're never going to see. Like they put that one out. So they're willing to go into, I don't call it, I don't like to say taking a gamble, but like take a chance kind of on stuff, which, hey, you don't, hardcore Star Wars collectors say, oh yeah, I totally want to get a 212, but even doing a limited release of, 2,000 or 2,500 that they did for that one. I mean, that's one that may have eventually sold out, but there wasn't necessarily a guarantee because that's an very obscure clone trooper that they would have sold out.
Let me ask you this, and this is very interesting to me, and I think some people may have thought about this. Did this at all remind you of the Hano line, or did it ever cross your mind if it was maybe $80 cheaper that they could do this on that line?
No, I didn't think of Hano when I saw this. This one was reminding me of like the Batman Beyond figure, or I forget the super huge Mr. Freeze, like Arkham Knight, like really big figure that actually that's why I was surprised maybe when seeing that figure, I forget the name of the suit. I'd have to look it up, but it's that really huge one, which was from the boss fight for Mr. Freeze in Arkham Knight, which is still available. It's like $380.
Well, I'm just going here so I get the sideshow, but I am getting some news from some ancient action figure theorists that Loki is extremely, I did call it last week, Lane. You have to wonder, did I actually call that that Luke was coming this week? And apparently the very next day, like magic, like wizardry, that Luke came out. So I think I deserve this clip right here.
They call him the Wizard.
Hey, what can we say? Geniuses love company, right?
All right, Lane. So here you go. Before we get to the intro, listen, everybody, we're going to get to the intro here. We're going to get into the Han Solo. We're going to get into the Luke. We're going to have a couple of special guests in here. Again, we're going to get to the premiere of episode 2. But look at this, Lane. Here's your best sellers as we got these up. And let me go ahead and
another one we never thought we might see. James Bond by Hot Toys. Where we've got the Daniel Craig. We got it now. I mean, did you ever think where you said Hot Toys is going to make a James Bond? Whichever one
no,
would be.
But here's best selling. Here's Stitch number 1. Look at what's a number 2, and we already know how much that sold. So look at Daniel Craig behind him. Look at this Nightfall Batman. Look at Sace Tin. And I can tell you probably with Daniel Craig, this Batman, Sace Tin, if I'm even saying it right, that's probably, maybe they're going to make a few thousand of these, a couple thousand. Yeah. Lane, I don't think we're going to get much more. These figures are not produced like they were in the past. Does that kind of show you anything when I flash this on the screen?
Yeah, well, I mean, Batman is a little bit harder because he's so brand new and stuff. But I do think maybe pre-orders on figures in general have slowed down a little bit. But I mean, Bond's been out for the Stitch has been up for now over a month. I mean, Stitch is maybe a little bit different because that's going to be like nearly $1 billion movie, and that's a very kid friendly, and that's a huge figure. Stitch is Stitch is kind of a little bit different than our average Hot Toys figure, so it may not even be fair to kind of compare that to the other one. But even I'm impressed that Yelena, for what is the low, like maybe I think it's the lowest grossing movie of MCU ever. Unfortunately, I do think that means from that movie we're not going to get Red Guardian, we're not going to get John Walker, we're not going to get what I actually wanted, which was I wanted to get Taskmaster, because I love how Taskmaster looks in that movie. But I think it shows that with Bond still being up there. Now, obviously, he's got a lot of name recognition, but seeing even like Sazi Tin, the Predator 2.0, for the new release or pre-order releases, people are definitely at least interested in some different, characters and properties where, do you think maybe like, let's say Sazi Tin or Tin came out in like 2022. Do you think he would have maybe been up there? I mean, because he's at least a couple of weeks now, almost probably.
I think it would have sold. Well,
he might have been. He might have been in the top 5 here for like maybe a week, and then week 2, he would have been like starting the downward slide down into the 20s or 30s or something like that.
Well,
and would be just kind of buried and forgotten.
It looks like that. Thank you for saying the name right. Charlie the Unicorn says Sassy Tin, not Sace Tin. Well, kind of. I was doing my best here. I really didn't know how to.
At the end of the day, these are all
how to pronounce it.
Guys,
it's kind of hard.
They're all made up names.
So. Well, let's play a sassy clip.
Coffee regular. Love it.
That's breast milk.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nick Unicorn. But look, this is very telling. I do got some news, but listen, who's ready for the intro for episode 2? Where we got to pay the intro. So are we ready for the intro? Are you ready for the premiere? Well, the whole episode is Ancient Action Figures episode 2, but we at least got to play the special intro. Lane, we should go ahead and play it.
Solo.
Are we ready?
Discussion. I wonder.
Are we ready? Let's go ahead and play it, baby. Oh, I hope I have it uploaded. Oh no! Oh, I do. See that? It's meant to be.
Brother. You got them all set up, and then we're going to sell them.
You ready?
First, let's go for it.
Right now. Deep beneath the sands of Egypt lie 24 enormous stone coffins, and every one of them is empty.
All these sarcophaguses are vacant, much like all of the figures you used to be able to add to your cart. They're on the wait list and vacant as well.
What purpose these giant sarcophaguses serve remains a mystery.
The precision in which we see these boxes carved is very similar to the preciseness these 6-scale head sculpts are constructed today.
And there are many who believe that these giant stone boxes not only contained kings and queens of old, but also otherworldly artifacts from the past.
Were these coffins like today's shipper boxes from Endor and Hot Toys?
What's also interesting are these sarcophaguses had specific ancient ancestors inside, and then when you look, it's someone different. Much like the Artisan Luke, the hair was perfect like my beard, but then with another review, it was like the Bee Gees. So you do have to ask yourself, what is the mystery behind the new Artisan Luke? And is it possible that this is episode 2 of season 2 of Ancient Action Figures? And I say, let's go ahead and dive into it, baby. Right now. And just like that, we have got 50 in here, baby. And you have to wonder, is this live or are you seeing things? No, you're not. It is live. We are Ancient Action Figures Season 2. And what you're going to do when the Dark Jedi starts feeling better and is able to put his voice forward. Wait a minute. Is it possible I'm getting a call? And could it be from an extraterrestrial? Let me go ahead and go to the solo layout lane. Hello? Skull! I like the intro too. Mm-hmm. What do you mean? No, that's not you playing the saxophone. It's me on Earth 3. Well, I love the sax, baby. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Really. So with that Luke, it is true. With the Luke, otherworldly beings they did such a great job with the gel that they're like transporting these figures without opening the box, kind of like in Star Trek where they beam someone up and they're beaming in old cruddy figures where the gel is gone and putting in this Bee Gees version of Luke. Mm-hmm. The Return of the Jedi one's called Skull. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. 13 Skull, we're officially kicked off. This is live Ares, vintage Ares. Come on. Ares is not only the wizard, but also a theater kid. Come on, baby. Come on. And Charlie the Unicorn with the aliens. Come on. Lane, we got to get into some of this here now. Let's get into some of the juiciness. So we got a couple of releases this week. They kind of unleashed on us a Han and a Luke right off the bat.
Yeah.
Let's get into the Luke, since that's what we talked about with the intro. And I'm going to put this up onto the screen so that we can go ahead and take a look at it as I pull this full out. Welcome, everybody that's in here. We are doing a giveaway. Go into the video link into the video you're watching right now and make sure you comment on that so you can be eligible at the end, okay? So I just want to go ahead and say that. But let's talk about this. And we're going to get MRC in here in a little bit and Brother Cousins. But look, I was blown away. I put out a video of this. Jay, Brother Cousins, put one out too. These blogger photos of this Luke. This is one of the best figures I've ever seen. And then, Lane, I'm going to go to you and just give him my opinion first. One of the best Lukes I've ever seen and one of the best figures I've ever seen. I was so stoked. This, to me, absolutely destroys that prototype that we got up. And that usually does not happen. But I'm starting to see a sign from Hot Toys along with InArt that they can beat their prototype. I mean, that to me is premier realism excellence. Look at that. And you know what's kind of funny though is there were some videos that were coming out, Lane. Now I got to see TK421 collecting his review unboxing. Looks just like this. You can try and pack some stuff up. I saw Sideshow's review. Looks just like this. There's another person I follow, the Figure Hideout, who got a lot of this early. And theirs looked very similar as well. So there was some consistency. But Lane, there's also some inconsistency as well. Because as good as this is, and it did match a lot of reviews, when our friend MRC Collection Ventures put his up, and now I'm going to go to those, it looks a little different, I would say. So let me go ahead and pull these up, and I'm going to pull up MRC's pictures. And that doesn't look the same. It almost looks like with his, they didn't add any gel. Could this be a QC issue from Hot Toys? What say you?
I hope that's a QC issue, and mine doesn't look like that because that looks like a Robert Plant mop that would be wearing
hey, Mama said the way you move.
that.
Yeah.
Like that's a 70s rocker, like mid late 70s rocker, like poofy hair. You know, we were talking about way back how the sculpted Han Solo hair looked like people were saying it was poofy kind of looking. That is poofy. That is big and poofy. I am hoping my hair does not come looking like that.
Well,
Yeah.
Ricardo says MRC Collecting Ventures had one that looked like Adam Prince.
He does look like Filmation. It does look like Filmation. Prince Adam. Wow.
Well, and Charlie says Aries spilled the coffee with this Luke. Well, not this one, because if I get this one, I'm calling Sideshow.
If he was at work at like 7:15 in the morning.
This looks like Starbuck a little bit from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
From the original.
Or Apollo.
Yeah, Richard Hatch. So let me show you, and courtesy here. I'm gonna pull out, like, for instance, let's look at some different ones here. So I'm gonna pull this one out from, you know, the figure hideout, this short. And if you don't know the figure hideout, go ahead and subscribe. He always has great stuff. But I'm going to show this here, and hopefully my computer doesn't lag. But it is a complete difference. I mean, just look at this. Yeah. Trying to blow that up. That looks that's the Luke I want, but that has gel in it. I don't see any gel in Reagan's. So what happened here, Lane? Because here's another one that looks like the blogger. This is the one I hope I get, Lane.
Yeah. No, I hear. There's one thing I have to say. One thing that I will probably never do with artisan figures is try and move the eyes, because you gotta, especially because this is like the Joker, where you have to remove the back of the head, touching the hair, and so you can get to the eyes. And I'm like, I'm never touching that. Like, there's no chance. I do like the nylon suit. It looks like this one has, and the lack of leather in it. That Luke sculpt looks great. You know, would you agree, Aries? Do you think this one does a nice job where you definitely see elements of Mark Hamill, but yet this one does still kind of feel like, you know, the artwork, you know, the cover art and stuff like that for the old Dark Empire comics, where you still feel that look kind of, it's like kind of a very nice fusion of the artwork style that was used along with Mark Hamill's actual facial features. And it's a very nice, you know, kind of like almost how Hot Toys is done with, you know, like the Tamora Morrison sculpts for the clones, but yet they each are individualized enough looking and everything.
Well, I mentioned this in my video late to answer your question, and I paused this. And again, this is from the Figure Hideout. I always check out a lot of his videos too.
Yeah.
When I'm waiting for Justin's or I'm waiting for Reagan's. And I want to say, hey, does this look like the bloggers? But his looks like it has the gel, like the blogger photos has. Yeah. There's another one I watch. I think he's from somewhere in the UK. TK421 Collectibles. He's good as well. His look like this. And I said, boy, this is multi-versatile, because is it possible that you could use this head sculpt? I think we're getting a special guest, and we're going to put the special guest up here in the panel here in a second. But you could use this for The Empire Strikes Back. It was very cleverly constructed, this head sculpt, where you could, it's kind of young in my opinion, but no one's complaining about it. And I think no one's complaining about it because this is like, we finally got a Mark Hamill that looks insanely good. So I think you could use this for Snowspeeder Pilot Luke. I think you could use this for Hoth Luke from Empire Strikes Back. You could certainly use it for Return of the Jedi. Mandalorian's the same timeline, 5-6 years after Return of the Jedi.
This one's a lot better than that CGI.
But it's way, dude, this is like a masterpiece right here. But why are some looking like this and some not? And I'm wondering which one I'm going to get. And it could just be like anything else. But is it possible that an ancient action figure theorist is in here?
Oh, yeah, there's the man.
Oh, MRC. Collection Ventures coming in here with the Dark Jedi.
Good morning. Good morning from Hong Kong.
How you doing, baby? How you
Good,
been?
Good, good. I mean, yeah, I mean, like, so busy the past few months, weeks. Yeah, how are you? How are you? Actually, you, Aris, how are you? I'm glad you're back. And I mean, like, you had what is this, like a successful operation? Yeah, thank God. Thank God you're okay now. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Reagan. Yeah, we had a successful operation. It was a little crazy for a while with my family and stuff. Everybody knows, I had a heart attack, and they, went to the hospital. They quickly got me in all these tests and catheterizations, but then they did an open heart surgery. But I'm back, baby. I'm back. I'm on my comeback tour, and prognosis is looking good. So yes,
So-
great to be back. And listen, I'm spilling all my coffee, although it's a little bit weaker now. But I'm spilling all my coffee over a lot of these releases, Reagan. But listen, I'm so glad to have you on. I told everybody in my comeback tour that we're going to have a very versatile panel, when Lane and I do this. And so it is so awesome to have you in here. And I tell everybody all the time, when I'm looking for first reviews, I'm looking for you and I'm looking for Justin. I love watching the two different reviews. I love your styles. I love Justin's style. And then, there's a couple of other guys that get figures quickly. They put out shorts, like the TK41, collectibles. I saw his, like, for instance, on the Luke, the figure Hideout. Of course, Sideshow puts them out too. And, it's very interesting getting right into it. As I pull this up onto the screen and you were jumping right in with it. So this Luke from the figure Hideout looks a lot like the prototype, but doesn't look like the one you had, which is very interesting. But this looks like, Reagan, it has a little bit of gel, like the Sideshow one, like these. And not only that, I'm going to pull this back, Reagan, like when I was looking at the blogger photos, and I don't know who took the blogger photos, to be quite honest with you. But it looks like that there's definitely, like, the Joker. It has maybe some gel, but then yours looks different. And I'm wondering, are some of these, is it possible, Reagan, that we're not going to know what we're getting until we open the box? What do you think?
Yeah. Well, honestly, once you open the box, once you open the case, it depends how you're going to hold it. I think it's pretty much like all the same, but it depends how you're going to handle it. So mine, because I was accidentally grabbed the hair at the back, and then probably, I don't know, maybe the what is this, like, I kept trying to change the eyes, so you have to remove the head, right? Of course, the more you touch the head, the more it will mess up. So I think that's what happened to mine. I see what happened. And yeah, it become bulky here, especially once you attach it to the what is this, like, to the body, and it has the collar, so the collar kind of like pushing up the hair here. So I think for the others,
Yeah, that is pushing it up. I'm seeing it.
Yeah, it's pushing it up, and then probably it
This
has
still look. I'm just going to say, Reagan, even though people are like, and I'm just going to say, in my opinion, with these artisan figures, I have, for instance, the in-art Aragorn, and it literally took me about over an hour when I got the rooted Aragorn to be able to get it to where I felt like it looked like Viggo Mortensen, but I got it to go. But to me, this hair is a lot like when you pose a figure. So, for instance, like, you got 1/6 scale man, he has Figure Flex Fridays, and he poses figures, and it's a contest to see, I guess, who can pose it the best or something like that, which is really cool. But sometimes it takes me a while to take a Hot Toy or in-art figure and get the look, or make it look like a real person in a pose. So I think with the hair to me is like the eyes, or like a movable elbow joint, or a wrist, or the waist. You may have to play with it a little bit to get the look that you want. But also with this looks absolutely unbelievable. No matter what you think about the hair, if you poof it out
Mhm.
or bring it in. I mean, this is the best Mark Hamill head sculpt to
So
me.
yeah, still the likeness is really good.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
I
But
mean, like,
do you think as well posing the hair? And I think you could also probably put your own gel in it as well. But
yeah, I think you had to put some gels on it. And yeah, you had to stylize it. I mean, like, I haven't put some gel because I'm kind of like afraid, but am I gonna mess up? I'm probably gonna bring it back to the shop, to the store, so they could fix it up. They could fix it, that back part of the hair. But actually, yeah, honestly, some people commented in my pictures, and then they were saying, like, yeah, like it has like a 70s look. That's actually a good, right? I mean, the 70s look, because of course they're from 70s. I mean, like, that's Star Wars. I mean, like the style, kind of like vintage classic look. I think it's still nice. I mean, like, if you could fix it, if you could do this one, I mean, like, it depends on you. It depends on, like, how you're going to, I mean, like, yeah, like, stylize the hair. But this kind of hair, like, still fine. I mean, like, in some says that, in the comics he has like a long hair. So yeah, I mean, like, but the head sculpt still absolutely beautiful. I mean, like, yeah.
yeah, no, I think it's really good, and you bring up a good point. With some of these, Reagan, if you have to be. I think if you're going to just, and someone put in there about cotton gloves, right, Lane? If you're gonna, touch the hair, I've touched the hair on all of my artisans and my two in arts because I got the Gandalf. I'm gonna get the Legolas one here this year. I can't wait to get that. But it is a little bit. It's a pain. Like what I got, like with the Gandalf, not so much, honestly. The Aragorn was Lane, kind of like the Artisan Joker. I didn't want it as poofy, but I was able to kind of squeeze it a bit, use the tweezers. I moved the eyes a little bit, kind of poofs out, but you could put it in. But I would think with this Luke Lane, you should still be able to, like the Aragorn. Aragorn has some gel, and the Artisan Joker has some gel. I pray the one that I get here has a little bit of gel, like the blogger photos.
Yeah.
But Lane, your thought on all that?
Well, I mean, you have to be. Because when I am live unbox the Darth Vader Sith Apprentice, like I was trying to attach the head, and I pushed too hard down to the neck part. Actually, literally like popped off. So I had to reattach the neck and then attach the head. And I was just like, oh my God, please, I might not messing up the hair. And actually, it was pretty good. My hair came out a little puffy, but when I actually looked at other comparisons, it was about the same, because it's supposed to be him, intense and stuff. But as Reagan, as you might miss, because I called this Space Dracula Luke earlier. But I was interested to ask with because I did watch your unboxing video of it, but when you were handling it and everything, since the gauntlets are basically the Darth Vader style gauntlets on this Luke, were they easier for you to overall handle in comparison to how often for regular Vader figures, and their hands can be a pain in the butt, to those gloves can be a pain in the butt to work with sometimes, or even keep attached sometimes.
Yeah.
Was overall, did you have any problems like that with this Luke when you were actually, trying to handle and impose it, or was it
the only issue that I had on this figure is the shoulder. The arms, the hands, I mean, like the hands is fine. It's easy. It's like easy to find that hole, to attach the joint.
Yeah.
But the shoulder, like, I don't know, there's some problem on the shoulders that I really need to exchange.
Well, you had the same thing, because I watched your Han Solo this morning, like the shoulder on this side. You seem to be running into some stiffness or something.
It looks like
that.
they use the same body kit, inside. So
For
that's
the
why
Luke and the hand.
shoulder,
Mhm.
have the only the left shoulder, but the right shoulder is fine. But then when I touch when I play with the Han Solo, it has that a little bit, just a little bit. I could still move it like smoothly, but
Mhm.
then when I move it, like I could feel like, oh, there's something wrong on the
Yeah, I
left.
know. You immediately went, oh, like that.
Yeah,
I've heard you some other times in some of your other reviews when you go, oh, and I'm
yeah,
like, oh no, as soon as I hear the oops or the
yeah.
up, I go, oh, what just happened with Reagan's figure?
I mean, like they could. I mean, probably some figures they're using. This is what I'm saying. Last time, I mean, I mentioned like they're using a cheap one because maybe they spent a lot on the head sculpt. Like maybe they paid the artist like a lot,
Hmm.
or like some parts and materials of the body. Maybe yeah, it costs a lot. So that's why they need to use some cheap, materials on the some parts like they say, yeah, the body, or probably this is like a new runs or like new stocks for the factory,
Hmm.
the body that they use, so those are new, and probably they didn't see some issue like about the shoulder,
So
so
some of the kinks and stuff like that because it's the first
yeah,
new wave
I
of
don't know.
those
I
guys.
don't know if they're checking actually. I mean, like wondering if like the QC, if they really checking like wait, how's the
Well,
shoulder
like
this one?
statues in the Chinese facilities,
Yeah, or
and
maybe they
there's
use
been
some.
things about questions about that in the last
So I think
year
maybe
and
just
a half.
move it a little bit. No, I think it's fine. Okay. Okay. Next. To fasten to fasten the
To
production.
get
So
3,000 figures out the
yeah,
door as fast
right.
as
Get three.
possible.
Real quick, guys. I just want to tell everybody in here you are watching Ancient Action Figures, episode 2 of the new season live. We're going to do a giveaway at the end, free raffle, so you can enter to win,
You're
courtesy of
not
Lane
eligible for
Kramer.
this, Regan,
Yeah,
because you're
yeah,
outside of the United States. It's only for
yeah.
United States shipping.
Only going to get that. But listen, go to the link that's in this video right now. You got to comment on last week's video in order to be eligible to enter at the end. So make sure you stick around, but go to that video. The link is in the description, and make sure you comment on it. You also have to hit the like button here from this video. You could also go to sixscalecatita.com, and you can get the link to last week's video in there. We are joined, as always, by Lane Kramer and special guest this week, my friend Reagan, MRC Collection Ventures. We're talking about this incredible, awesome Luke. I got a question for you, Reagan, on this figure. When you opened this up, was did you feel, is there gel, any type of factory gel or stickiness like the Artisan Joker, like the InArt Aragorn, like the Artisan Anakins that just came out? Is there gel like that in there to try and work it, or was there not so much with the Luke? What did you see?
On the top part, it doesn't have. You could really tell it. Like you can see from my pictures, like it's dry, right?
Hmm.
And at the back part around here, there's I felt some like just very small like glue like stick like hard part at the back part, and then when I again as I said like when I kept moving the hair, and I kept removing the hair because I wanna check the eyes. It's quite hard. The magnet is really strong. That's what I don't like about this one. The magnet is so strong that like you wanted to like slowly attach the hair, and then of course it's pulling super hard, like clipping like really fast, because you want to maintain the hair. So that I think gives you that gonna gives the hair mess up, like because you're pulling it, even if you're holding it so tight, but there's no parts on the head that you what is it like to hold it like carefully. It's not easy, believe me. Like
So
once you get it.
if you wanted a Reagan, bring it in or make it tighter, can you play with it to do it, or with yours, do you got to put in extra gel? Do you think? What do you think?
I did try the just the water. so it's kind of like drop and stick to each other. It's very soft, like very soft. So I think there's some probably a little bit of like I don't know, maybe glue. No, glue. Like gel there. So it's suddenly like super duper soup. I haven't been I because I haven't um really put any water in my artisan edition, and this is the first time. And then
How
when
did that work for you? Was the water after this?
it dried so fast, but then it doesn't look good, when you put water. It's something like it's super soft. Like I feel like it's gonna take time to really like stylize the hair, and then probably yeah, I think maybe they added some gel there, so I think I really need to add some very light gel I mean, look, this is like not
And that solves the issue if you add the light gel.
probably, yeah, probably,
Because when I look at like the blogger photos, I'll be honest with you, the way the side curls are, like in this one,
yeah.
and even the bangs toward the front, it looks a little bit like there's some gel in it to me, Reagan. What do you think about these blogger photos? Do you feel there may have been a little bit more gel? And I guess like with any hot toy, these are done individually, right? So I guess it's possible as they're doing the head sculpt or they're doing the implantation technology, right? They're whether it's groups of hair, they're putting it in, they're implanting it one by one. It could have been a person too that maybe puts in a little bit less gel, one a little bit more, right? I mean, I guess it could be a luck of a draw. I wouldn't be surprised. What say you on that?
I think this hairstyle, and yeah, see, it looks like
Like
every
this looks like gel there.
piece,
Honestly.
yeah. Every piece has a different uh like not totally the same. I mean, like, it has a different like, like what is this, like hair position. So I have here like when I took out from the box, it still looks like this.
Let me blow you up. Let me blow you up here.
You see?
On your let's see if I can get to you here. Sorry
So
about that.
I think it's similar, right? See, it's similar, but it only is just the back part that the
Oh, I see that. Yeah. So
see,
when was this one?
this is like when right up when I took out from the packaging, from the case.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's still
So
fine.
so
Yeah.
when you so for you to get it back there, so in your video I was watching, you were I'm trying to remember, but you were concerned trying to move the eyeballs and the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
that so that actually happened with you, right? When you
Mhm.
removed it, it kind of messed it all up.
Yeah, it's a hard. It's like when you, even if you put the tool inside or the back of the head, you have to put some a little bit of like force, when lifting the head. And then of course, after that, maybe fine, just put it in the table, like on the soft cloths, and then drop it there, the hair. And then the problem is when you put it back, you have to really like hold it slowly. Otherwise, some parts of the hair on the side might gonna, insert inside of the neck, or the back, or the inside the head, so underneath it might gonna insert inside. So it's not easy. It's not easy. So you had to be like super duper like easy on putting the head and then holding it. I use the plastic, so I won't be I mean, like what is this, not gonna touch the hair, because it's kind of like, once you touch the hair, it's like there's this small like it was just like a part of the hair, like it will mess up the entire look of the position, so you had to really like hold it like tightly using the plastic, and then attach it like, like super super light. It's not easy. So those blagger pictures, for sure, they haven't touched the eyes, so you can see the eyes is still straight.
Yeah.
So they haven't touched the hair. So right up the box, probably just holding the plastic, put it back, put it on the body. That's it. They didn't touch anything. So, but then if you again, if you are kind of like like Aussie, you want to like see the eyes. Of course, you want to like move the hair, keep touching the hair. Then it will slowly, mess up that that. So yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy to
You know what's funny, Reagan and Lane? I never changed the eyes on my DX34 Anakin for fear of the same thing that you're talking about.
Yeah, same thing.
I didn't move the eyes on the DX34 regular Anakin because I didn't want to bother with it. Luckily, it came in the box. I figured the eyes were in a good spot. Now, I did have to play with my Anakin a little bit because it came a little bit poofy. And then all I did is I squeezed it. I squeezed it a little bit. I should grab it. It's right behind me. It's if you could see my finger, there's the Anakin. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Okay.
It's got a
So what I
light kind of
did,
in the face.
I pulled the head sculpt. When I took it out, I was debating, do I want to mess with it like the DX33 Joker? And I said no, because that was a pain in the neck with the eyes. So I did get the Joker back where I wanted it. So what I did is I just squeezed my fingers without messing with the eyes, and his hair was just like Revenge of the Sith. But now that until I get the gel material in myself, I'm not going to play with the eyes on this DX34. I didn't even open up. If you see my other finger on top of the Scarlet Witch, Reagan and Lane, you can see I haven't opened up my DX47 Darth Vader Artisan. Same thing there. I didn't open up the Scarlet Witch either. Again, dealing with the health issues. Just getting back to live shows. I will be opening those. But I don't know how I'm going to do the eyes on both of those, Reagan, for what you're saying. Because it'll take some work.
Yeah.
So maybe when I get to Luke, I'm going to leave it just the way it is.
Yeah.
And wherever the eyes are.
Yeah, do not touch. Yeah.
And don't touch it.
Leave it just leave it like that. Yeah.
Now listen, we have got 69 in here, almost 70. Smash the like button. But I'm giving away a figure, courtesy of Lane, at the end of the show. How do you get a chance to win the free figure? Well, it doesn't cost you anything. All you have to do is go to the video description, go to the link from last week's video. I put it right in there for your convenience. You can also go to 6scalecantina.com. It's right on the homepage. And just make sure you comment in the comment section of last week's video. I got the link in this one right now. And that way you could be eligible when we run this in a little bit for the giveaway. Lane is giving away. Lane, can you grab it up in the air real quick again?
Yeah.
With 70 in here? All right, there it is. If you guys can see it, he's giving that away. Yep. Thank you very much. And more importantly than the giveaway is Lane's wearing his Aaron Rodgers signed Steelers hat.
Oh my God.
Let's go, Rodgers. Let's go, Rodgers. All right, so listen, Reagan, we're going to get to
another figure you were very
I want to get to this. I want to set the table with this, Reagan, as I pull this up. Now, look, I'm going to give you guys my opinion on this. I didn't understand some of the comments on Facebook with this Han. This is the blogger photo. In my opinion, this looks just like Harrison Ford from Return of the Jedi. What was interesting to me is apparently Hot Toys listened to some of the comments and they unpoofed the sculpted hair a little bit, which in my view is not as accurate as Return of the Jedi, the movie. Because if you watch Han in Endor in all the scenes, he has poofy hair, but it doesn't look as aesthetically pleasing as if he got a little bit of a haircut. But if you want movie accuracy, it's going to be a little poofy. His hair was not the same as it was in A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back. That being said, they made this more aesthetically pleasing. But I'll be honest with you, the comments of it doesn't look like Han, this blows away both the A New Hope Han head sculpts. And I mean, this is just, in my opinion, one of the best head sculpts I've ever seen from Han. I mean, just look at that. It looks like a real human. That looks like a real human, even with sculpted hair. So Reagan, these are the blogger photos, but I never pay attention to a lot of the comments, Reagan, because I think that they're funny. If I want to laugh, you'll have comments in there like, "Oh, this looks like Gerald Ford." He looks like Nathan Fillion. He looks like the Rookie. Things like that, which is just it's funny. I watch it for comedy, but in my view, this was good. Now I'm going to flash up your video. Again, we've got MRC Collection Ventures in the house, everybody here, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're not, by some strange reason, not subscribed to MRC Collection Ventures, you've got to do it. It is the go-to. Like I said, him and Justin for reviews. They first come out. But look at this. I'm going to play this. Hopefully I don't get lag. But this looks just like Harrison Ford. Look at that. This is you, Reagan. Look at that.
He's like using my expert eyes.
I mean,
that's
abilities.
Yeah.
If they do an artisan in this, Reagan, it would be. I'd almost faint picking this out. It looks just like him. But talk to me about this figure. Were you excited to see this head sculpt?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that head sculpt because because I watched the the Return of the Jedi, and I was comparing all the scenes, like checking all the scenes. Yeah, they I think they they copy one of the scene there, so that I think that's their preferences, for the head sculpt, because there's a lot of like a facial expression of Han Solo, Harrison Ford on that movie. So but then there's a specific parts there that if you watch it and then look at this figure, if you watch it or if you look at that the head sculpt closely, you could really tell it looks like him. It looks really like him. I mean, like for the old version, the New Hope, I mean, it's still Grail. That one is still Grail, still beautiful. But of course, now the likeness, they finally capture the likeness of Han Solo here, on this Return of the Jedi version. The only probably just very very small, like maybe a little bit bulky on his face. But again, once you watch the Return of the Jedi movie, you will see that expression.
I mean, just look at that. I'm going to try and pause it. I mean, it just looks, and then I'll play so we get the eye situation. I'm not going to pause them cockeyed, but this again, guys.
Right? See?
Yeah. So Lane, look, this is Reagan's, and Reagan's with us right now, and his actual short of the Han Solo. We did a review this morning. Again, if you're not subscribed,
watch the whole thing
to MRC. Watch the whole thing. But Lane, this is next level. This is. I'm so glad InArt came to play with Hot Toys, because Hot Toys wasn't doing young people like this, Lane, even a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Look at how good this looks.
I still have a problem with it.
Talk to me. Go ahead.
As I think that the wrinkles in his forehead are still defined. They still look a little bit big to me and everything.
Too much.
Now, but as I said, I've had some other people.
They'd be too much for me too, by the way.
Yeah,
I got less wrinkles.
Yeah, well, just for how, and it could be mostly from just whatever specific scene that they kind of for the artist used as their basis for doing it. I know I've seen him with kind of the like the defined lines in his forehead. It could be just because it's been carved in and cut into plastic, seeing it where it's permanently stuck like that. They seem a little bit thick to me on the forehead, which seems to throw off the likeness a little bit. But that's also though from a specific angles depending. But that is just my thing. That is, I wouldn't even say it makes it bad necessarily. It bothers me with it because the wrinkles in his forehead just seem slightly too thick. However,
I could agree with that. I do think they are over pronounced a little bit, almost like he would, because if for them to be that pronounced, Lane, you bring up a good point. It's almost like he would have a severe furrowed brow, right?
Yeah. and that doesn't exactly fit exactly the facial expression he's running with.
I agree with you on that. I agree.
It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more neutral. But like I
I
said,
think where I'm excited, Lane, is the portrait is such an improvement over both New Hope's head sculpts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But I mean, we got to remember they came out. What Reagan was it like 9 or 10 years ago that they came out? A New Hope Han and like was it 2017, I think, or 2018 when this Death Star like Stormtrooper came out, something like that. I mean, it's been almost a decade, I think, for the first one. I know you did a really good job kind of comparing them where, I mean, obviously Harrison Ford had about 5 or 6 years in between, aging or whatever, but it wasn't it wasn't like he was like Mark Hamill was like, 20 or something like that when he was Luke filming in 76. But
real quick, Lane, Collecting Madness in the house.
Yeah.
Chris, he was with us last week, and we're going to get Collecting Madness in with us again next Sunday. So we're looking forward to that. Good to have you here, Chris. But go ahead, Lane.
I just think that, to me, that's my nitpick with the figure more than anything else. The only other thing would be the same thing Reagan and Justin bang on every single time. Pleather boots. Like, just Hot Toys, why are we using pleather? When the Dark Empire Luke doesn't seem to really have pleather, the nylon suit with it and everything. I just, at this point, come on, we can do something else with the boots. So Reagan had to show his where it's definitely had some. Now that's like a 10-year-old figure. So,
all right, I got a question for you and Reagan on this. I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm going to throw a hardball at you. Okay. I like leather for the figures because I want the most intricate material and I want what I pay for. But when I get these figures in collectibles, my pleather doesn't deteriorate. For me, I'd almost rather pay a little bit less. Like if you could give me good pleather and it's still going to be the same for me for 10, 15 years, I'd rather have that. So is it more for you guys because you want quality materials? And then I'd be right with you. But then for me, if it's about deteriorating, my man cave right here is climate controlled. It's not only climate controlled, it's humidity controlled. I don't get any problems with my figures. Let me go to you with that, Reagan. Why is leather more about the material deteriorating, or we need a better quality of material? What say you?
Yeah, it's for me. It's more of like longevity of the figure, of course. Like, you want to keep it like it's still in a good condition, like like especially like mine, like most of like those older figures, like it's already like flaking, deteriorating. So it's like it doesn't look good. I mean like probably once you display it, if it's covered by another figure, maybe it's not gonna visible from the display. But it's still still better if you could time to time could play with the figures. And then of course the condition, especially those pleather, those boots, belts, still it still looks good. My what is this, like a New Hope belt of the Luke Skywalker. Again, the boots of Han Solo, A New Hope as well. And then the other figures, like, so I'd rather get the genuine leather with probably a little bit cost. It's fine, so at least it will last longer, that you could play. Like especially taking picture, especially me, like I like taking pictures. So let's say after 5 years, I like to take a picture of this figure, and still in good condition, that you're not worried about like, oh shit, this doesn't look good in the picture on the camera, right? So it's like, maybe not. Right? So maybe just the heads up is fine, right? So yeah, those things that that I had to consider, like getting they have to make not just only quality, but that it will last longer, for the look, especially that you're it's just like the movie, it still looks good. If you watch it, still looks good, if you Same thing when you look at your figure, wow, it still looks good. You know, you're still gonna be like amazed. But then like when you saw some I don't know if you guys could feel that, you know, once you saw your figure has some flaking parts or like it's ready deteriorating, it ah like you feel like some
Yeah.
like
The
hot
leather
bone,
will definitely. You don't got to be. It's going to last.
right?
Like, can you even imagine Reagan and Lane getting that new T800 battle damaged? That new Terminator we're going to get at it would it be leather? I mean, that would just be disappointing. I mean, I think you'd want.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can just say when I had sold like a few years back, I sold my Death Trooper Specialist because I was 100% certain from Andor we were going to get a new one. Oopsie. So I ended up buying another one because that's my favorite trooper that has ever existed in Star Wars. And I live unboxed that one, and the one I bought, and the second that I touched the actual ammo pouch, it like disintegrated.
Well, and here's the thing, Elaine, and Clone Trooper brings us up. And listen, you guys are watching my comeback tour here. You are watching the second episode of the new season of Ancient Action Figures live, baby. You are watching it live. And listen, we're going to be doing a giveaway at the end of this show. And all you've got to do in order to enter the giveaway is just go to the link in this video description. I put it in there for you. And the link actually is from last week's season premiere, episode 1 of Ancient Action Figures, a new season, and comment on it. Because if you don't comment on that video, you're not going to be eligible to win. You don't got to do anything else except make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit the like button, baby. So stay tuned. We're going to be doing that in a little bit. But he brings up a good point here, Clone Trooper. He says third-party figures are at lower price points, are using leather. So why not a premium hot toy figure? I'll tell you why, Clone Trooper, in my opinion. As we're watching MRC Collection Ventures short, a quick unboxing of this Han Solo. Make sure you subscribe to my friend Reagan's channel here. I always go to him to look at the first reviews for sure. I always go to him and Justin. So great stuff here. But listen, the reason why, Clone Trooper, I could answer that comment for you. Hot Toys and Sideshow are trying to keep the prices down. And what's happening is inflation's going to start creeping up, and these prices are starting to creep up. So when you look at Artisan figures, for instance, you know, and we talk about the Anakin. Let's talk about the DX34 Reagan, and let's talk about the DX47. You know, 400, 435, whatever dollars. You start adding in leather, we can be pushing $500. Now, personally, I'd be all for it, and I would pay for it. But I think that that's maybe one of the reasons why, Reagan, that they're not moving totally towards it, because I think they may have to start increasing their prices. What say you? I mean, the more things cost, it's like a new car. You want a car with leather? It's going to cost you more than cloth seats. That's just the way of things. So, Reagan, that's to you. Any thoughts on there, or Lane?
Lane.
I think that the pricing is already still high, though. For even
it is too high.
I know.
So maybe they should do this, Lane. We have like regular deluxe, right? Maybe they should have like another tier. And for people that want, would you be okay, Lane? Let me ask you this: if they had another version, it's like, hey, you could have the pleather version, or you could have a leather version that's $50 more. Is that better? What do you think about that?
That is something that could maybe work.
I still think some people would complain, why can't we just have one version? But I think it could work too. If you think about it, like with automobiles, and some automobiles have cloth seats, and some have leather seats, and some have a heated steering wheel, and some don't have a heated steering wheel. You can pay for what the tier that you want. I'd actually like to see Hot Toys do that. I would usually go for the leather, though. So that's what I would do. I would go top tier. But it's probably going to cost more money.
be.
It just is. Well, Reagan, this video is unbelievable. And so I got to ask you, as I'm looking at this, how do you like these new bases that are round, like this special base that this comes with? Not the regular square ones, not so many of the sand bases we got, or the
Yeah.
Death Star bases, right? Like on the ship, which are fine. Do you like these new round bases? What say you?
I like it. Actually, I like it. Just for the spaces. What I thought about this one, I think it's like extra, was this like levels. You could put this one at the back, so it could elevate the figure behind the other figure that using the square one. And this kind of basis, I think um they're only gonna use this kind of basis for some special figures. Again, we got the Luke, we got the Han Solo, Darth Vader, Anakin, the apprentice. So, and then Palpatine's coming as well, right? So those bases are, I think, only for those specific figures. I like it, especially if you like the figure as well, right? Like, just say, yeah, you have that, you could display this Luke Skywalker Dark Empire on a separate, like, shelves or like display cabinet, right? Same thing with Anakin. Like, you could display him like on a separate was just like shelves or case. But then, of course, if you're going to align, or if you're going to display him together with the other figures, with the other Star Wars figures, and using the rectangle or square one, then probably it's gonna look a bit off, you know. So I prefer that
Agreed.
actually. Yeah, I preferred using other base. So I have some bases like just flats. So at least you could really see their heights, if it's accurate or not. And then yeah, because that base is only for, like, you only collect one figure. You only collect Anakin, right? So that, I think that's perfect, for you. But if you collect a lot of like Star Wars figures and you want more like a scene look on your display, then yeah, better to get a different base. This one probably not, good options. I would say, especially the space, and yeah, for their height comparison. Like, you want them to look like nicely on the same position, the same level. So yeah, only for those you want like a separate, display.
Well, no, for sure. That's great comments there. I'm looking forward to seeing how this base looks. Master Imwe says, don't forget the stupid tariffs. That brings us to the last two quick things before we go to the giveaway and end the show. But again, this is Reagan's video, MRC Collection Ventures. He's in the cantina. He's in the house. We're going to be doing a giveaway here in a little bit. Make sure you subscribe to him and check him out. But I want to point this out. You're talking about tariffs, and I'm going to pull this up onto the screen. Because for the first time, Lane, in the history of Hot Toys, I am seeing figures from the United States outselling the Hong Kong versions immediately. So all day long, this DX47, and I flashed it up here because it's just June 28th. Okay, they just continue to sell $1,250. This is a great seller with 769 positive feedback. Okay, and not including the $30 in shipping. So it's $1,280. When you're talking taxes, over $1,300 for this figure I haven't even opened yet. And then sometimes some of the ones overseas that are this price or even $100 less, I think people are a little afraid of buying from some of these overseas sellers because of what Master Imwe said here. Don't forget the stupid tariffs. And honestly, some of these sellers, I'm not saying which ones or how they do it, they don't claim, these, they don't, you're not going to have to pay 30% on these inflated prices. but you're going to have to pay 30% lane on whatever price they put down. And now I'm starting to see these figures in the U.S. sell for these crazy prices, Lane. What say you?
It's goodbye Kimasabe to your wallet. Now, to be fair, I did almost spend $1,000 on mine, so it's not like I understand what the price is when I'm trying to get it. You should check out too, Reagan, if you want to go see back from a couple months ago. He was at actually Celebration, and he had some interesting photos where he definitely has spread his love for Star Wars to his the next generation and stuff, and they were in full Jedi mode in there. It looked like they were having a blast, but maybe not so much on the mad dash that you had to do to get over to the place for that was selling the hot toys at Celebration, because I remember your video of everybody being like a tidal wave.
I know, right?
That was going over there. It was like we're having to move really kind of fast here.
Yeah. Well, and Reagan, like what Lane is saying there, here's another one from June 28th. This is the DX34 here in the US. $1,100. I'm only seeing this figure. Lane seeing it too. We talk about it. Only $200-300 maybe behind the Sith Apprentice one, which is the Darth Vader, which is crazy. I mean, people are really. Reagan, do you think that this one is selling so good because the head sculpt on the different variant, the DX47, they changed it slightly? So it's kind of like you get a different figure. Do you think that has anything to do with it?
You mean like comparing to the other
like comparing the DX47 to 30?
Yeah, like they didn't use the DX47. They didn't use this exact same head sculpt. They tweaked it a little bit, showed a little bit more of the mouth. It was interesting to me that they did that, but I think it brings more value to this figure. What do you think? Because it's different.
I think that's it. I think that's the reason why that this one is like more expensive than the X47. So probably, it depends. Actually, it depends. I mean, it depends on you if you're going to grab this one, but then that will again gives a little bit value, because of that head sculpt. It's beautiful. Like, I mean, like, it's a no-brainer. But the thing is, like, yeah, for that price, I don't know, like, of course, again, I always mention, like, if you have like a budget, like really really budget, if you a lot, I mean, like, if you have extra, it's a thing there, that's right. Or like if you have extra, then probably it's fine. But then but if not, for this price, like
it's a hefty price.
Yeah, regular. I mean, like me, let's say I didn't. Let's say I just in case, like, I mean, like, I didn't get a chance to grab one of these, artisan. Probably, I'm gonna wait. I mean, like, I'm not gonna probably gonna.
Well, are they really, Reagan? Reagan, are there? And real quick, as I stick with you, real quick, I just want to shout out to my brother here, brother Cousins, Toy Reviews. He'll be on the show next week. What's up, family? Sorry I couldn't make it. No, my man's always good support here. Make sure you subscribe to Brother Cousins Toy Reviews. Jay in the house. Is it possible you may see the Jedi who's back on tour here on Best of the Best this Thursday? You have to wonder. Good to have him in here. Let me ask you this, Reagan. I'm very curious because I did not open up my DX47. So I can't speak on it yet. Which one do you like better? Do you like the Darth Vader Artisan or this original one better? What's your favorite?
I think this original one is much better. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like, I saw a lot of people selling the dark side much higher compared to I mean, like much higher compared
Well,
to this
because
one.
here in the US it wasn't released, so it is definitely, at least for in the West,
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
harder to come by figure than this one. And also,
Well, look, Chris says that Lane, he thinks DX34 like Reagan is better too.
Mhm.
yeah, I think I overall kind of like I was mentioned to some other things because I have the Sith Apprentice, but I do kind of think I like overall. I like the aggressive facial expression on
Mhm.
the DS47, but I think overall I might like a little bit, but like it's it's like A1 to 1A kind of thing. This facial sculpt for Anakin from and also it is just the fact is just for nostalgia wise, DX34 is
Yeah.
like that's the episode 3 Revenge of the Sith Anakin,
Mhm.
whereas the other one could be, the one scene of the dark side where you're seeing with the eyes,
Mhm.
or the Ahsoka, which has the you lack conviction thing in it. And I think on the Hong Kong box, it actually said, on the shipper, Ahsoka.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
And
was the
honestly,
shorthand
yeah.
for it.
Well, and listen, we're going to do the giveaway here in just a minute before we get into one last thought. So make sure you stick around. Again, if you want a chance to be in the giveaway, everyone who's in the chat, go to the link that's in the video right now and make sure you comment on it so that you get an opportunity to put in. Now, you don't got to comment multiple times. It ain't going to matter because the way I have the simulator set, it's only going to pick one comment. So make sure you do that. Lane, you want to bring that up one more time so that people know we're going to do that in just a couple minutes. I'm putting Lane up here. Here he is on a solo. We're going to give away the Selena Kyle Hot Toys figure right here. So stay tuned. We're going to be doing that. Good job there, Lane. And we've got Lane in the house. We have got MRC Collection Ventures in the house as well.
Before you get to that last topic, I have one thing to do right
Well,
now.
real quick, before you do that, Lane, I just want to put this shout out because I was talking to Victoria today. He says, Charlie says, Victoria gave you a shout out on the cantina, on Victoria's cantina on Friday night, always sending positive vibe thoughts your way. No, she certainly is, and we appreciate that. And is it possible that Victoria herself is going to be in here next Sunday night on episode 3 of the new season of Ancient Action Figures Live? And I say, yes, she will. So definitely appreciate that. So before we get into the last thing in the giveaway, go ahead, Lane. What you got for me with the Aaron Rodgers hat?
That's almost as bad as Face Your Destiny. Don't you dare. Don't even move your thing towards the cursor button or anything else. You're about to pull a Snoke on me again.
Wait, I can't do this?
That kind of fit. Well, I was going to say, previously I'd had the Han Solo for almost over a year on pre-order. Like I did it the first couple days that it went up. However, I canceled it a little bit earlier this year because, well, honestly, I needed money so I could buy the video game Venom, which Reagan has reviewed, and he knows exactly what I'm like. He was like, "Oh my God, this thing feels like holding a baby." But I had to cancel that to help me get funds so that I could afford picking up the Venom. And then I saw the blogger photo. I was going to wait to kind of see, let me see what the final, when it comes out, maybe, and I'll see what happens, or if it was going to threaten to waitlist or something. But I was having some second thoughts after seeing some of the blogger photo stuff. However, after watching, 4 or 5 hours ago, Reagan's video go live and watching that, and other than him going, oops, with the shoulder for a second, because I went, what happened? Seeing that convinced me, nope, it's time to go get the Han Solo. So something that does not happen here very often on the Cisco Cantina, but I am live pre-ordering right now. Right now, Han Solo.
Yeah.
You know why? Because
I'm going to stick and get them.
That's because you just did that. You spilled your coffee when you saw Reagan's review.
But like that figure in the outfit, and also the belt and everything being really well done. So hitting the button, finalizing, and
Finalizing. Well, listen, that's going to bring me to this, Lane. You led into the very last thing. I'm going to get both Reagan and yours thoughts before we do the giveaway and end the show. But here is 6scalecantina.com again. If you don't have 6scalecantina.com bookmark, you just may want to consider doing so. But one of the, which we got to severely update this page. Again, some of you know, as you all know, I've been dealing with some stuff. But look, this is the new head sculpt of the Han that Reagan reviewed. Okay. And here is some artisan hair from the Dark Jedi on this head sculpt. You can see it on the banner of this show. Look, Hot Toys has been showing us trends. Trends when they come out with the Clone Wars Obi-Wan, that they will give you a Mandalorian Obi-Wan. Trends when they give you an artisan Joker, that they'll give you a Batman imposter Joker. Okay. Trends that when they give you a DX34 Anakin, we were just talking about, they're going to go ahead and give you a Sith Apprentice Anakin. And you have to wonder, could they take this incredibly awesome Han Solo head sculpt and give you an artisan version? Maybe not even from Return of the Jedi, maybe from Empire Strikes Back or something else. But look, baby, we're getting an artisan Luke. Are we going to get an artisan Han? I see them doing this. I really, really do. And I actually think like in art lane, and then we'll go to Reagan. Like, you know, when you get the Batman and you can get two different figures and you have it with the Joker and you're able to get, two figures in one. Are we getting close to Hot Toys doing an artisan 2-pack? Could we get a Han? Could we get a Chewie? People are like, oh, we're never going to get a Han and Chewie 2-pack again. I don't know. I don't know. I think we are. But I think we're going to get an artisan Han. A matter of fact, I sense it in the wizard juice, baby. I see it in the stars. Lane, your thoughts on an artisan Han? Are we going to get an artisan Han?
I think there's a good chance, but it might be a while. We had to wait like 10 years for a Han
so long,
almost.
So long.
Yeah,
probably because Harrison Ford.
Long? Yeah. Do I think it's gonna be that long?
No, not 10 years. No.
Yeah, but it might be a while. That's why I'm saying if you're considering Return of the Jedi, I would. It may not be like Empire or something, but it's Han Solo at the end of the day, and especially between Empire and Return of the Jedi, there's even really less, aging or physical difference for this one. You can, without the jacket on, this is very close to either like a New Hope or, Empire Han. So, I think that that we could see eventually an artisan, but since we're just getting Return of the Jedi Han Solo, it might be a few years.
Maybe, let me ask you this, Lane.
Maybe 50th anniversary.
That's 50th, I think you could. But Charlie the Unicorn says, Lane, you fell for it. So, what would you do if you woke up and we had an artisan version tomorrow and I play this clip for you?
Honestly?
Would you cancel your pre-order or would you still keep it? I would keep it.
Return. Well, I would just get Return the Jedi Han Solo because that is my favorite original trilogy movie. Like, it's my favorite of the three. I rather own the character from my favorite movie. That's why, I actually sold my Kenobi TV series Vader, which I still think is one of the best Vaders. Give me money, and I pre-ordered the Revenge of the Sith Vader. I usually only own one figure of a character. I don't usually buy multiples. But Vader is one of the few exceptions. Revenge of the Sith is like, I already own Return of the Jedi Vader as well. I have that Sebastian Shaw head sculpt, and now I can get Revenge of the Sith with that. I still get the hate. I got the regular edition because I don't really have room to display the table, and I still get the Hayden Christensen barbecue head sculpt. So it made me feel really good with that. Now, lead into Reagan. I did have one question because he's handled both of the figures. For Harrison Ford likeness, now, obviously, there's a number of years in difference between how they look. But between this recent return Han Solo, Harrison Ford, and you got the Indiana Jones from Dial of Destiny, which one do you think overall felt like a better
Likeness.
interpretation of the man himself, like his facial?
I think both.
You think both are about on
I
par?
think both. Yeah, both. Because yeah, I mean like the
Now,
likeness is
real
very
quick, Reagan, hold that thought. Lane, can you do me a favor? Could you grab the link to last week's video, put it in the private chat for me while Reagan's answering your question? Go, Reagan. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I think both. But again, the Indiana Jones is older look, right? So older face sculpt, whereas the what is this? The Star Wars Return of the Jedi is a little bit younger, but you could really tell. Actually, I forgot to do some comparison there. But then, yeah, the likeness, both are pretty great. I mean, like very strong. Like to Harrison Ford, both look great. I mean, there's no like this one's better. Yeah, I think it's I don't see any. I think they already somehow like prepared for that. That's why we're kind of like what is this, like we've been waiting for a long time, right? We've been waiting for Han Solo or like a Harrison Ford head sculpt. Probably they're really preparing for it, so there you go. I mean, like we got the Indiana Jones. I think they nailed it. And then for this new Han Solo Return of the Jedi also looks great. I mean, like the head sculpt, yeah, I think there's no like the other one is like not really good. I think both look great for me. Yeah.
And then back to originally scheduled question to Artisan. I'm sorry, I kind of threw a
So
curveball there a little bit.
So the regular question, whether it's Artisan Han, or maybe another variation of Artisan Luke, Reagan, or maybe an Artisan Leia, maybe an Artisan Jyn Erso, maybe an Artisan Pedro Pascal, Mandalorian. Do you see more artisans of Star Wars from Hot Toys? I think that they're seeing perhaps the success of the Anakins and the Luke. I mean, what do you think the possibilities are of getting artisans for Star Wars? Do you think Hot Toys is going to dive heavy into not just Marvel, but Star Wars for artisan? What do you think?
Me? Yeah,
Yes.
I think so. I think so. Definitely, because it's not just only the Star Wars or Howard like Star Wars, but the competition. The competition is very strong with in art. So I think it's not only like they want to do artisan as well, but they know that if they make more artisan edition, they will grab more like collectors or customers, to get their figures, because again, there's this in art, and of course you have to choose if you're a Star Wars fan, and there's this, like, let's say in art doing other what is this, other characters, other movies, let's say Lord of the Rings. So and then you have to choose, like, which one should I get first, or which one should I get the artisan Lord of the Rings, or should I get the Star Wars and Star Wars in artisan? So which one, right? So that's the competition there, right? So of course you have to choose one. Of course, if you're on a budget, unless you're rich, I'll just grab artisan. Doesn't matter. But then for for marketing purposes, I think gonna push more for artisan edition, since they saw the potential. Although they've been doing it, because we had some figures, Marvel figures, that has a rooted hair, right? Especially female figures. That's already rooted hair, but not a clean artisan, look, right? But this time it's really like they taking it seriously. So yeah, I mean, like so not just only like they wanted to do more Star Wars, but for marketing, to grab more customer, competing with the other, company. I think
For
that's
sure, for Ed Art and them, yeah. Well, Reagan, Lane, it's time. It's time to end the show. It's time to end episode 2. but we're going to do the giveaway. But now we got to do the giveaway. Let me share the screen. Hopefully you've all been able to enter a comment into last week's video. So we're going to go ahead and let me share the screen. And we're going to go ahead and see who the lucky winner is right here with episode 2 of Ancient Action Figures. I'm going to hit the start button and let's go. Is everyone ready?
Let's go.
Do it.
Let's do it. All right. Let's hit the start button. And hopefully this is going. It's saying here, hold on a minute. Start raffle and pick winner. And I've entered the sum. 13. Get the comments. Here we go. And hopefully it's I try to work this thing here. Sorry guys. Start. There we go. Look at all that familiar faces. And the winner is 68 Great. Is 68 Great in the McHouse, baby.
Yes, please comment real quick into comments.
Otherwise, you got 60 seconds. Otherwise, I got to redo it. So that's the thing. You got to be present during the live show in order to be eligible to win. So hopefully 68 Great is in the house. Did he comment yet, guys?
Nope.
Someone do a countdown for 30 seconds. You got to be present in the live show in order to win. Not here. Spin it again. Got to give him at least 20 more seconds. Got to give him at least so I can set this up. Looks like we're going to have to spin it again, guys.
I feel like we should be hitting some Jeopardy music right now. Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
we should be
dun,
hitting.
dun, dun.
I wonder if I'm going to have to copy this link again and put it in. I think I'm going to have to do that. So I'm going to copy. Let me copy this. And let's see here. Make sure I copy it. I got to refresh this page. All right. Looks like we got to do it again. 68 Great is not in the house. So here we go again. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be the Big Dog Pound? Is it going to be Lane? Is Lane going to win his own figure?
Well, that would kind of seem to defeat the point, but yay winning, right?
Lane, you can't enter this. You're not allowed, bro.
I know.
I got to put the sum of 6.
Well, if we could.
All right, here we go again. Let's get the names.
Let's fire away.
All right, we ready? Here we go again. Who is it? Collecting Samurai. Glad you're back, Aries. Great stream. Was his comment is Collecting Samurai in the McHouse. Collecting Samurai. You got to be present to win, baby. What do we got? Collecting Samurai, calling you. Are you in there, baby?
Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you feel me? Collecting.
Listen, while we're waiting for Collecting Samurai, I'm going to go ahead and play this clip. Here we go. You got till the end of this clip, baby.
Emergency official business, ma'am. Side, please. Side, please. Thank you. Official business, sir, ma'am. Emergency, please step aside, sir.
Hey, get lost. I'm waiting here, huh?
FBI, you might want to stay out of this, all right, sir? Excuse me, sir, ma'am. Please back off. All right, I need 8 double tall.
Unfortunately, no response. This is going to be one of the hardest things from giving away is just giving it away.
Look, I get it. You got to be here. You got to be live. So let me go ahead and I got to refresh it. I got to put the link in here. And we got to do it again, baby. We got to do it again. So here we go. So does this mean that 12-inch Moose Dream's got a chance? I guess he does if he's in here, right? Everybody does that's in here. So, Reagan, myself, Lane, we're not allowed to enter the giveaway. Let me get the comments. and they're getting it. You guys ready to start again?
Let's do it, baby. Third time's
Let's
the
do
charm.
it. Here we go. Who's it going to be? Is the third time the charm? Z71, rock solid. Glad you're back. Mr. Personality and Content. Is Z71 rock solid in the house for this? Going once. Going twice. Let's play OG fans' favorite clip while we wait to see.
I'm Boba Fett. I'm here to see the mayor.
Boba Fett. Do you have an appointment?
Nope.
Are we sure? Give him another chance. Are we sure? Mr. Z, rock solid. Are you in the house? Well, I guess I got to do this again, right, guys? How many times we got to do it?
Fourth time's a charm.
Reagan, this is how many takes do you do your reviews on one take, or do you got a lot of edits like this before you publish it, Reagan?
Oh, you're muted, Reagan.
Sorry, I mean, like, yeah, there's a lot of cuts there. I mean, like, sometimes I need to do something, like, and a lot of cuts.
Like I'm doing right here. All right, so listen, somebody who's live, could you be in here with this, please? Let's go ahead and get the YouTube comments. Looks like we got it. Let's try it again. You got to be present in the live show for these to win. Let's do it again and see who we got. Jeff Eubank, is he in the house?
Please be in the house.
And I say, probably not. We just got to keep doing this. You guys are keeping me live. Do we have Jeff Eubank in the house? Jeff Eubank, 3760. Are you in the house, baby? Wonder, says the OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars. What clip should I play? This is, I think Howard's actually laughing at me right now.
See, this is just Reagan. If you're running how efficient America was at doing things, this is showing you right now.
When you guys wake up tomorrow, you're going to get this figure while we give him one more shot to the end of this.
What's going on here? I'm sorry, sir. It's time for you to leave. And so it is.
Well, OG fan who Star Wars was just Star Wars did his member comment just mentioned, "Are you sure I'm in there? I should have won by now."
Well, listen, if you commented on the video and you're live, then we should be. All right, let me try this again. Ladies and gentlemen.
They just don't want to
And
let you
put
go
in the video.
tonight. They're so happy you're back.
They just don't want to let me go. I think the 13th skull is, having some influence here with some otherworldly power. Get the comments.
He's laughing at you like Skeletor right now.
Yeah, I got to play that clip, but first, here we go. Who's it going to be?
Someone who's here, please.
Bolt 55. It's Bolts 55 in the house, who also says, glad to see you back, Mr. Shows. Is Bolts 55 in the cantina right now, watching live, baby. Bolts, let's play this clip.
Okay, stay calm. I am calm. I'm talking to myself.
Punishers laughing as this is what you get here at 6 Scale Cantina.
Cantina.
Oh my goodness gracious! I guess I got to do it again, Lane.
Yeah, it may take us 100 turns, but we'll get there eventually.
Reagan, I'm gonna ask you. Do you think we're gonna get it this time? Do you think someone's gonna be here at the next one? If are you willing to make a wizard call? Are they gonna call you the wizard, Reagan?
Do it.
Is this the one, Reagan?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Looks like the 13th Skull is calling me. Well, listen, we're gonna have to put you on hold, 13th Skull. Let's get the comments. Let's try it again. Who is it gonna be? Sal Kala 80? Looks familiar, but not in the chat tonight, probably, right? So glad to see you back. I'm so glad to have you back. Is Sal Kala 80 in the house? Anybody? Sal Kala, are you there?
Santiago.
No. Is the answer no, Lane?
Well,
that's me. See, that's me.
Santiago Alcala says that's me, but
that's him.
Is that him?
That's Santiago Alcala.
It has to be the same. Is that Sal Kala? Is someone saying it's him? Did we have a winner?
Yeah.
Do we have a winner, Lane?
Yeah. Santiago Alcala.
Hey! Where is he? Right here. Sal Kala is in the house. Congratulations. You get a special clip. Listen, because we're going to get this Artisan maybe even this week. Is it possible tomorrow morning?
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another.
I think it's just good we don't have another giveaway to do. We'd be here for another 20 minutes.
You know, so here's the thing. As we got Reagan in the house, we lost your camera, Reagan, and we got Lane. But listen, this was a lot of fun. Congratulations to Santiago Alcala, who is the lucky winner of this. Absolutely fantastic. And that was exciting. That was kind of fun, actually. I love the bloopers and what we're doing here. It is absolutely great. Mike Torres. Mike is going to be, maybe he's going to be popping in next week, but you have to wonder. Bots and OG. Yeah, bots like in the queue system. Maybe I need a queue. Maybe we got to do a queue here, Lane, like Sideshow. Yes, 6 Scale Cantina says OG fan. That was a lot of fun. 12-inch Moose stream goes, congratulations to Santiago. What does Santiago got to do, Lane, now with you? Talk to me.
I was going to say probably if he wanted to get in touch with you, email you or message you his mailing address. Just needs to get that to me, and you can then relay that directly to me, and then I will ship it out to him this week.
There you go. So you can reach out to me right here at YouTube. Santiago, you got how to reach the cantina. You could also, I've got the official Facebook page of 6 Scale Cantina you could do as well. Or reach out to me on Instagram, and I'll connect you with Lane on Facebook is probably the best way, right, Lane?
Yes.
So why don't you go ahead and do that, Santiago? Reach out to me, Aries, Facebook right there. Aries here. I'll hook you up on Facebook with Lane, and you guys can do that. But congratulations, my friend. And MRC, are you still with us? I lost your camera, baby.
Yeah. He was
hopefully
having to get ready to go shortly.
Oh, yes. Guys, heads up. I'm going to leave soon. Going to work. There you are.
Yeah.
So listen.
Need to go.
Guys. All right. So we're going to close it up. Reagan, subscribe to him. This was an awesome show. Lane,
thank you guys.
Cheer for Aaron Rodgers. Reagan, thanks for joining us, buddy. Go ahead and go to work, baby. We got to have you again.
So much. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. And then, of course, other collector, our fellow collectors. Thank you. Please subscribe to ours as well. Please don't forget to hit the like button. All right.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Take care. I'll see you
Have a
next
good
time.
Take care, Reagan.
Yeah.
We'll have you again, baby.
Yeah.
Lane, that was awesome. So, Lane, listen, for those that didn't see the episode 2, rewatch the show. So,
yep. A lot of discussion,
gonna...
OT discussion, a lot of goofy discussion. The first hour between the legend and the 6-scale Cantina Master himself was a great show this week. It's good to have everybody joining us and also kind of be good and back, trying to, have somewhat of a regular schedule. And, this is just also prep for this fall where we can have our weekly Aaron Rodgers discussion and how awful a quarterback he is. I can't wait when we hit that series later in September.
For Lane, I am Aries. Lane, thank you so much. I am going to do you a favor. We'll do this all throughout. For those that are here and did not see the episode 2 intro, we'll play that as the outro. I don't always drink wizard juice after I spill my coffee, but when I do it right here at the 6-scale Cantina. For you guys that want to see the intro, which you missed for episode 2, here it is. Thanks for joining us, baby. And stay thirsty, my friends.
Take care. See you.
Deep beneath the sands of Egypt lie 24 enormous stone coffins, and every one of them is empty. All these sarcophaguses are vacant, much like all of the figures you used to be able to add to your cart. They're on the wait list and vacant as well. What purpose these giant sarcophaguses serve remains a mystery. The precision in which we see these boxes carved is very similar to the preciseness these 6-scale head sculpts are constructed today. And there are many who believe that these giant stone boxes not only contained kings and queens of old, but also otherworldly artifacts from the past.
Were these coffins like today's shipper boxes from Endor and Hot Toys?
What's also interesting are these sarcophaguses had specific ancient ancestors inside, and then when you look, it's someone different. Much like the Artisan Luke, the hair was perfect like my beard, but then with another review, it was like the Bee Gees. So you do have to ask yourself, what is the mystery behind the new Artisan Luke? And is it possible that this is episode 2 of season 2 of Ancient Action Figures? And I say, let's go ahead and dive into it, baby. Right now.